Welcome back to the Berg Podcast. Thanks for joining us today. You've got your host, me, Brian. Along with me, I've got Ford.
Hey, how are you?
And Dan.
Hey, everybody.
And today we are looking forward. So as we finally wrap up some jobs that have been hanging out, some of them since COVID, Ford, you were just saying some of these things that feel like they got delayed. They were slow. They got change ordered and turned into projects that we didn't expect necessarily, but finally wrapping some stuff up and starting to look ahead. What comes next?
Yeah, you were talking about the back end of the ones. I remember what made me think of it was that, like, I went to the job site the one day, and that was like when we were finally allowed to go back to work, and they had the first people that I saw with the QR code for filling out the COVID forms.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, what is this? And that was a job that was started just before that, I think. And delays, everything happened. And finally, I think the last month, we finally were there might be some little things going on, but it's pretty much done. There's not a crew there any longer. There shouldn't be any more issues that we have to do extra work for. And, that's a project that I think at least doubled in length of time from the expectation when we started before all the other stuff happened until we finally get it completed.
Yeah, we've had quite a few projects over the last 18 months that have gone considerably longer and larger than we originally thought they would based on soil conditions. Some rock, some other things have just slowed it down, drug it out, and some changes. And so it really made it difficult from a bidding perspective because we had jobs that we were supposed to start. Ironically, those jobs pushed and we were like, oh, this is convenient, it's pushing, but they've just continued to push. I think partly because of supply chain issues, partly because of COVID, partly just the economy, who knows really. But it seems that, they've pushed, but now we got a few locked in here and ready to go. We're just, trying to wade through a little bit as we come out of these projects, get things all buttoned up and tied up, finish, make sure everything's perfect, get Longwood to a good spot, and then get into a few other jobs. Dylan came on board, Dylan Reese, and Dylan was able to, he was low at Rolling Hills. So we got a nice gas work project there. So it's nice to win one of those. He's got another one that we're just about prepared to say is under contract. I'm waiting for a couple of signatures to come through, but that's a nice project. Mike went ahead and got one with Devon Prep, and then we have a couple other ones that are in the final stages of signing that are going to go. It's funny, what I feel like is going to happen is we're going to go right from the fire and then have a quick breather and then right back into the fire again, where we're going to go from having, too many jobs to feeling like we're a little slow to right back to too many jobs again. And that's sort of the nature of this business. I mean, it's really hard as an estimator project manager to set it up that your jobs hit perfect because they'd have to almost go as you bid them in order for it to work that way. And with this many change orders, it just doesn't happen. So it's one of the key reasons why you try and maximize things. You know what I mean? When you have change orders, you have to be able to perform them, get value for the client, but also make sure you can complete them in a timely fashion because even though, yes, it's more work, it also extends timelines and that puts you in jeopardy of hitting timelines on the next job.
Yeah. And the thing is, we don't control our jobs. We control what we do, but we don't control our jobs. And so, starting times are always, how many times we always laugh at a client. That's why you're constantly bidding. Even when you're busy, you're just constantly bidding because, oh, yep, this one's going to start next week. And you look at the paperwork and you're like, that thing doesn't even have permits yet. That's like 6 months out, if best. What the client wants to get pricing in because they want to start getting their ducks in a row. And some people sometimes have unrealistic expectations of start dates. And so you kind of got to roll with the punches as how far as that goes. But the neat part is having a little bit of time here is we're actually able to wrap things up, keep crews on the same job sites and actually try and get them knocked out so we don't have a large punch list to take care of when we go back in and also just get them cleaned up so we're not still dragging. So we've had in the past where like a foreman's on 3 different jobs because he's trying to wrap up 2 of them, which isn't really much there. Everybody's got to keep going back and supervising and he's starting the next one. And sometimes some things fall through the cracks there. So this way it should hopefully be a little cleaner start when the new ones start breaking open.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the hardest part of what we do, honestly, is the open and the close of the jobs. And so there is some benefit here to having a little bit of space where we can, the foreman can focus on it. And even some of them can take a breather, step in and just close it, work on another job with another foreman before they have to step back in and go full bore again. So I think it actually works out for us a little bit. And also we see a fair amount of vacations this time of year. We like people to take time with their families, and this is a lot of people take it now. So it's not, it's not a bad thing, but it is unusual for us, so it's something that we wanted to talk about because I know there's some concern out there, but we have the projects laid out in front of us as we have in the past. We'll continue to have plenty of work, keep everybody busy. And, I feel like we're going to be a month from now and everybody's going to be like, wow, I wish we didn't have so much work. That's just the nature of it. So, but I feel good about it with the projects coming on board. We've finally been able to account for some of the increases we've seen in inflation and some other things. And I'm hoping that if we are able to account for that in the bid, it gives the guys a little bit of a better shot coming out of the gate to know that they're in a good spot and where they need to be versus immediately having concerns about our certain things covered. So I'm really looking forward to the late summer here and getting going with a bunch of new jobs and interesting things and do some good things for the community. I think there's a couple of projects out there that are really hit right with our core values that have benefit to the community. Devon Prep is one of them with the field project. There's a couple other that we'll talk about in the future once it's really signed and all, signed, sealed, delivered, so to speak, that we can talk about it. But I think there's a couple really nice projects for the community out there.
Well, and I saw something the other day here that was really neat. Actually, it's about the Devon job, but, some of the field management were in here for a couple of days, like going over the plans ahead of time. And like, that's what we've always wanted to do. And sometimes the schedule doesn't allow. Sometimes it's basically, Kelsey's down there, prints off the prints and hands a book to a guy and like, machines are dropping tomorrow. Good luck on this job. But I've actually saw him spend a couple of days on the front end, working through schedules, working through, questions, trying to get themselves really prepared so that when they hit the job, they can hit it and hit it correctly. And that really was something I think that's beneficial for us long term, because that proper planning part is the 5P one or whatever it is, the 6 Ps. I forget whatever it is. Proper planning. I won't finish the rest of it on the podcast. But
you got me. I don't think I know that one.
I don't know. He's got planning, performance.
Prevents.
Planning prevents something. I don't know. Ford's going to have to get back to us.
Performance.
No, planning does not prevent performance. That can't be right.
That can't be right. You said performance
Proper
twice.
Planning prevents piss poor performance.
All right, there it is.
Okay.
You got there.
Yeah,
You got there.
I don't think I know that one.
No,
but
that might be the first time I've heard Ford talk like that on the podcast.
On air. You heard that, right? I hope his mom's not listening.
Oh, Carol. Sorry about that, Carol.
Yeah, so whatever that is.
That's
I can't count
New Jersey influence.
I can't count those number of P's in there, but that's one of the sayings. It's kind of probably I think I heard it from probably some military thing or something like that, because they like to use it as acronyms for things like that.
For Lancaster County, we'll just make it proper planning prevents poor performance.
There you go.
All right. I like that. Yeah.
Even if I lost 1 P, it's
Clean it
better.
up a little
I
bit.
cleaned it up for Lancaster
This one's
County.
going to have an explicit sticker on the outside of it.
Parental advisory.
Who would have thought it would have been Ford, right?
Not me. I wouldn't hedge my bets on you personally, but
I'll jump us off the tracks here with a quick funny story. When I was on vacation last week, I don't know what got my girls on this topic, but they were talking about how old people were, and they informed me that my mom was going to live to be 100.
Oh, which is cool.
Now here I'll go to New Jersey where I'll say something ridiculous, but the odds of my mom living to be 100. My mom had a stroke a long time ago. She recovered more than anybody thought she would. She's, her normal self. She can run her blood pressure. She's like a Hemi. You know what I mean? Her blood pressure is so high, it's astonishing if she's not medicated. But I said, if that's true, I'm going to go put money on in Vegas, because if somebody can put a line on that, I don't even care what the odds are, because it's going to be real high. And if she makes it to 100, I win. And if she doesn't, I make a lot of money. And then my sister told me I was words that we're not going to say on the podcast. So it'd be explicit.
Yeah, I was just saying, you shouldn't be betting on your mom's health. That
I know, but it was just
wrong.
It feels wrong, but it was just a funny statement when I said it. I was amused by myself.
100 would be great, right?
Yeah. 100.
I don't think I'd want to live to be 100.
That's what I said. They said I was going to live to be 100, and I said it'd have to be like a very mobile, happy 100. I don't want to be.
I have a friend who says he wants to live to be 100 years as an adult, so 118.
118.
And I'm not exactly sure why that's an aspiration. But he says he thinks it's because it's possible. But I don't know what you would feel like or look like at 118 years old. At that point, like to maybe have outlived all of the people that you loved for like 30 or 40 years.
Yeah,
which feels
being in like a one-room place where people have to feed. Yeah, I mean, when I hit 40, I was like, I'm halfway. I'm at 50-yard line already. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I told my wife I'm about due for a midlife crisis. I'm gonna have to I don't know.
Just wait till the next car pulls in. You're gonna be like borrowing that M series or whatever thing and rolling that in here for the 2-door.
Yeah, I I don't think Brian's going to have a midlife crisis. I think it's just it's too far against him. He can't do it. Maybe buy
Actually,
some
I'll do
nice
something
Matchbox.
So I'll just Gavin. We don't tell a lot. We're way off track now. Sorry, we don't tell a lot of Gavin stories anymore.
You know, that tire was loose, Brian.
It was loose. I know it was loose. $300 later. So Gavin finished his freshman year at Drexel. And awesome. Did really good. Super proud of him. But you know, he's acts like a college kid, which is totally acceptable for a 19-year-old. But he pierced his nose recently, and I'm not a super big fan of it, but it doesn't look awful. But I told my wife, you know, like I found a do-it-yourself nose piercing kit on Amazon for like $5. And I was like, well, that I can get behind because I'm a frugal person. You know, just, you know, do something shocking, right? For $5. And she's like, absolutely not. I said, well, this is part of my midlife crisis. And she's like, can't you just go buy a car? So it felt like a free pass, right?
Yeah.
I should, yeah.
Yeah, you should go buy.
I should go buy a car. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounded like permission.
Yeah.
At the very least. Yeah.
Now that we're talking about your phone, your Instagram, your computer, all are going to be pushing you car ads for like the next 6 months straight.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to be getting like surveys like, how soon do you plan on buying a car? Within 6 months?
Don't worry, you can't really buy it anyway. I mean, because you could buy it. You
Well,
just
there
can't
aren't
have
cars
it. There's no
available,
cars available.
first of all. And,
You can buy one without chips, so it doesn't
and
do it.
if you bought one, you're going to overpay for it.
Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah.
On the old folk thing, the other ironic thing is Erin has told the girls that they're either going to push her to the beach when she's old, you know, on like the big floaty tire wheelchairs,
the
or they won't be going to the beach. That was their two choices. She said, you're either going to push me to the beach every day, or
Right.
you're not coming either. Nobody will go. So she was adamant about it. She said it multiple times.
Well, if they keep the like the powered go-kart or the powered wagon.
Yeah, powered wagon. They just put her in that.
That's not
Say
that
my
hard.
buddy Brett over there, he can hook you up with one of those. You can go put some big mutters on that thing and just roll right
You can
down
go-
there.
Yeah.
They might have a model for that already.
I feel like I get myself in trouble, but couldn't you see Erin as like an 80-year-old old white lady with blue hair sitting in one of those carts, just driving around doing whatever she wanted?
I was thinking like wear like just like a nightgown too, while to really fill out the like old lady thing. Just cruise down the street and just be like, she has like a cane out hitting people that ride by on the bike that aren't supposed to be on the sidewalks or that kind of thing.
We might be approaching some dangerous territory about your opinions of Aaron.
Yeah.
I said old lady part. I wasn't talking about the
You
Aaron
didn't say
part.
Erin. We did have so we have a place down the shore, and Erin's family's had it for generations. The girls are, I think, sixth generation.
Yeah.
And this time of year now, you go from owners to mostly renters around. And
Shoobs.
yeah, I didn't say it. Ford said it, but they were setting off so many fireworks, and they're apparently you are now allowed to set off fireworks in the middle of the street and stop traffic.
Oh,
this started last year, and Erin, we'll just blow Erin up. This will be the Blow Erin Up podcast.
She's out of town.
So she is out of town. So Erin is really eager to call the police on people that do things she doesn't like, which is hilarious if you know Erin as like a teenager, young adult.
she wasn't always so straight
No,
laced.
she wasn't always so
I, mean, I
stringent.
think she's an accountant too.
Yeah, she is an accountant. So I don't know.
Right,
There's a lot of
We get a bad rap.
there's a lot of things there. She remembers
I was
what
going to
accounting
pierce my
classes
nose.
she took.
I was going to pierce my nose.
You were going to pierce your nose for $5.
Yeah,
That
for $5.
kind of makes accounting
All right,
sense.
all right.
But she called the cops on these kids last year who threw fireworks at her car and other people's cars that we know, and then blew them up in the street. It was a big mess. And the cops informed her that the only way they would come is if someone was on fire.
Oh.
So I was concerned this year when they did it again, the same renters, same time of year, did the same thing. This time it was a rave party behind their house. There was literally 35 kids with the light up cameras on their head, all videotaping them almost blowing up some rented guy's house who has no idea what's going on in his house. And they're throwing the things. And Erin went out with like the anger that someone was going to be in real trouble. And then I walked up to her and I said, like, they already told you if they're not on fire, they're not coming. And I think she actually considered it. Yeah, she considered it.
lighting someone on fire.
And by the second day I had it, and I said to Erin, like, I'm about to get rockets and fire them into their house for them.
Yeah,
Just be like, hey, they're on fire now. So you're going to want to come help them. I don't know how it happened.
I'm not sure how this happened, but there is actually a
Those
fire.
fireworks kids seem to have had an accident because they're definitely on fire now. So
What's worse, putting what you're doing at fireworks or you shouldn't be doing on social media, or talking about possibly using fireworks to cause
personal harm.
What do we say? What do we say in golf? Don't correct the wrong with another wrong thing.
I know. We're all over the place. Ford's using inappropriate language. I'm threatening to shoot
how do
people
we
with
get
rockets.
here? We just wanted
Brian's
to talk
getting his
about
nose
new
pierced.
projects.
But we do have new projects coming.
Which is
Which is
exciting.
awesome.
That's the most exciting news of the
That's
whole
the
podcast.
most exciting news of the podcast.
For sure.
I don't know. $5 nose piercing. That might be the top right there. I don't know.
How quickly does that heal? Because I feel like I don't
You
know.
telling us heal, or you mean actually doing it heal?
I kind of want to see Brian do it just to see what.
I mean, remember the old days? They had like the magnetic ones. You got to go get one of those. Like you can probably get those on Amazon. Just come in and try that.
You should do that.
Right. Yeah.
Before you go to the cabin.
Yeah.
Order the magnetic one and just show up at home with the magnetic one. See what Alex says.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we saw one at the beach. The young lady had her nose pierced and something in her forehead that literally had chains between her nose and her forehead.
Oh, they were connected.
Yes.
She looked like a rhinoceros. It was.
I think if she got stuck in the sand, they just grab a whole pool or something. I'm not sure.
Could you imagine a beach umbrella?
I'll further get myself in trouble. The other thing is, I don't know what's happened lately, but we may have to edit this. But just because outfits
we're no longer
are sold
editing these
does not mean that people should buy them, right? And I was just walking. I mean, I'm not a handsome man, you know what I mean? But I know how to wear an outfit that doesn't make me look any worse.
Yeah, right. I mean, I stick to like polo shirts. Yeah. It's hard to be, unflattering. Yeah. So solid colors.
So I saw some people who made bad choices.
Yeah.
The simple New Jersey rule: never wear the skin of an animal you're larger than. Okay.
Oh, yes. I'm familiar with this one.
Yeah. It's just think about the rule. It makes sense.
Every time I see that, you know what I think? I want to know what lost out to that.
Yeah.
What they chose this instead of.
Especially, whatever. They're looking, going like, hey, I want this shirt or this shirt. And they chose that one. I'm just wondering what was the.
That's a great point. I never considered that there was another option and they still chose this.
Sometimes I think it could be a power outage.
Yeah.
Like maybe the lights were on. They didn't actually. Oh, no.
They don't usually look like the kind of people who get dressed really early in the morning, though.
They do not. They do not.
Yeah.
So we've covered a lot.
We covered a lot of ground.
I'm pretty sure all of us are in trouble.
I don't know where to go from
actually
here.
Not in trouble except for Carol.
Well, if Carol listens. But I don't know where to go from here. So I
think it's time to just wrap up because otherwise
all right,
we might actually edit for the first time in our life.
All right, folks, that's it. That's all we got for you today. We hope you enjoyed it. Join us again for another podcast sometime.